Hello. Okay, I need to figure this out. I don't want to look at my YouTube account. Okay. Hello. Okay, I need to figure this out. I don't want to look at my YouTube account. Okay. Okay, here we are. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. And hopefully I am on, it says I'm live on YouTube. Oh, somebody's here. Who's here? Oh my goodness. Who is it? Oh my goodness, Kristi. We made it. I can't hear you. Okay, you can turn, you're muted. You're muted. So I think you can turn the mute button.
Got it.
Yeah. Awesome. Oh,
Cindy.
wow.
Let me
Hello.
Okay.
Oh, wow. We were supposed to meet in Georgia today.
Yep.
In person. Hugs.
Yes.
Virtual hugs. High five.
Yes.
Do not give me that virus, okay?
I know, right? But I'm glad we're meeting this way. Anyways, that's what's meant to be.
It's so awesome.
Yep.
I'm so glad. It's so cool. I mean, it really is a bright spot because if you think about it, this was going to happen. God knew it was going to happen. And he set all these things in motion because I just signed up to be able to do interviews on Zoom. I just learned it about a month ago. And Kristi, or not Kristi, Casey Oswald, she got into it and I said, I want to try that. So yeah, so I've only done a couple interviews on YouTube. I'm trying to look at I have my iPad over here and then there's a chat box so we can see who's in the chat. Hopefully some people will show up.
This is my first interview through Zoom. I've only been on I think with VIPKID, I've been on Zoom, but this is the first interview too. So
yeah, so this is what we're doing here is, okay, there I am. No, that's the wrong one. What we're doing here is it connects, hopefully it's connected to my Zoom, let me find it. Yeah, it's like my third time I've done this.
Okay.
Live. Okay, maybe I can't see it. I don't know how this is gonna go.
So I was gonna say, is this live on
YouTube? It says live on YouTube at the top, but so you can go to your phone or if you have an iPad and you can check to see if you can see it. And the thing about it is I want to see if other people are making comments. That's the fun about it.
Okay, I can share
other people join.
Here's how
commenting, but
I can share it. Did you share it on our YouTube Facebook thing?
Usually you can see the live. I don't know if I turned it off by accident. I've done things like that.
It says live, so
it says live on YouTube. Okay. All right. So anyway, here we are. And do you see it?
Yes. Ooh, I don't want to hold on, but
yeah, just turn the volume down.
Yes.
So here, I don't see it on mine for some reason. I don't know why.
Let me share it in our. Did you already share it in our YouTubers?
Yeah, I just said we're going on, and then I shared it in the Christian one, and I shared it on my iPad group.
Awesome. Okay, I'll share it.
I still don't see it
on this
live. Usually I'll see like live somewhere.
It says it on mine, so I think it's working.
But so can you see the chat box? Is there anybody in the chat box? Usually we can see.
Not on here, but on YouTube there is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you kind of have to look at YouTube on the chat box and see if somebody's commenting.
I'll just set my phone up so that way we can respond with our voices.
That would be awesome. Yeah. And I can't see it, so you're going to have to be the one
mediator.
That is so weird. I think it's because I have them categorized. Like I have uploads here, and then I have past live streams.
Yes, and
so
see,
it should be in here somewhere.
I had to get out of that. I had to go to click on your face, your main YouTube and then click on the video again, and then I could see everybody's chat scrolling through right underneath.
Oh,
So
interesting.
let's see. I don't want to say your name wrong. Marianne.
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 Yeah, Marianne.
Hi,
Yeah.
Marianne.
Oh, awesome.
I
Okay.
just finished 20 classes and I have to take a nap. Enjoy your nap, Marianne.
Oh, yes, she does. Okay, there I am.
Oh, and then Serena, right? Serena.
Okay, I see it now. I got it. I think it just takes a little while for it to load up.
Good.
I just
Hello,
figured
Paula.
everybody's going to be home today. Paula. Hi, Paula. All right. So I wanted to read to you guys something that my daughter wrote for, my daughter, I was going to go visit her in Atlanta, and I was still going to go to the journey and everything. She says the news from the hospital staff, because she's working she's a scribe. She's not a nurse. She just walks around with the doctors and just kind of transcribes everything. And she says apparently there are 930,000 hospital beds total in the United States, and projected 2 million people who will need them due to corona. And this doesn't include people who will need them who don't have corona. 80% of people won't need hospitalization though. That's good. Hopefully we're in the 80%. But worst case scenario, 20 million people will get the virus. And then she says, happy Saturday. So yeah, so it's a tough time, and I think the hardest thing for me is like, I just am so thankful I have my VIPKID teacher friends, because we know what this means. We've I'm praying for you. We've made videos. It said, what is it? Jayu? I can't even remember now.
I don't remember.
Wuhan.
Okay.
Be strong, Wuhan. Yeah. I'm like, I'm going to make a video for myself now, and I loved that video that I made for them. It came out great. I actually wanted my people to find it, because I'm like, I want you to get that message. But honestly, I really didn't think that it was coming here. Did you?
I expected it, but prayerfully, if that makes sense. So yeah. I know that viruses spread all the time, and I had one of my regular students' moms telling me the news that they were seeing, and she said it's coming. And so wow. I knew to expect it, but also I believe in the power of prayer, so I can have. Sorry, this is my daughter Baylor.
That's okay. Hi.
She couldn't stay away.
Can you say hi?
Here,
hi.
She's saying hi. That's Cindy. Can you say hi, Cindy?
Hi, Cindy.
Hi.
So I see the statistics, but I also that just makes me pray harder. Yeah. If that makes sense.
And the thing is that we know, like I keep telling my kids, we know that we're safe right now. So if we just stay home and we wait it out, we'll be okay. But what is it? Is it really worth it that much to go anywhere right now? It's really not worth what is going to happen. So, I'm just praying, because I don't think everybody else realizes
that
what this means. Yeah.
What you just said, I don't think some people know the severity of it, and we're prayerful, but we've seen our students being quarantined for how many months now? And you know how busy our students were and how many things they had back to back. So if they're doing that, it's so serious. So it's not to laugh it off. It's get to praying over that.
Yeah. And do what it takes, because really nothing is worth your health. I mean, if you get behind on that's the biggest thing for me, is getting behind on bills or things like that. It's scary. Everything shuts down. What's going to happen to the economy? We're all going to have to face it. It's interesting, because I've just started like 2 weeks ago watching this one series of videos called Depression Cooking. And it's this older lady, like she's passed away now, but I was like, we're going to have to get back to simple cooking and saving money by just making simple foods and just changing our lives to, even once this goes over, there's going to be a ripple effect. No. So we need to keep that in mind. And it is the Lord's will for us right now. So we have to face it.
And like you're saying, to add with the prayer, like you and I, we were still going to go to Atlanta, but obviously it was laid on our hearts very like the same day, don't go, don't go. So
Right.
it's also listening, not just praying and then just going wherever you want to go. It's listen. When he's talking
Yeah.
to you, listen. And I
Yeah.
totally agree. And I thought the same thing. I remembered my nanny, she's passed away now too, but she lived through the Great Depression. So she washed I just remember her washing Ziploc baggies and different stuff that
Mm.
we always laughed at.
Wow.
And now we
Yeah.
realize she was doing that for a reason because that was that was ingrained in her. You know, canning stuff and having that on the shelf,
Hmm.
it was ingrained in her. And that's something that you can learn from older people for sure.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it's just I saw Meredith is on
Hello,
here.
Meredith.
I was going to meet her in Georgia too. She was going to drive out. She's watches a lot of our live videos,
Mm-hmm.
and she was going to drive out to see me at the last minute. I had to tell her I'm not coming like I
Yep.
did for you.
Yep.
And yeah, but way back I was thinking about when I got my Journey ticket, I was so excited because the first time that it came out, I didn't get the cut. And then Micah, from the Micah kid, you know, he's
Uh-huh.
on the YouTube VIP kid teacher.
Yep.
He sent me a message. He's like, they're opening them up again. And I'm like, go in. I finally got the ticket. But it was like a week later that started this virus thing. And I said, I think I'm going to cancel. I'm thinking about it. I said, I'm thinking about it, but I didn't. I went ahead and got the ticket.
Yep.
And then I went ahead and said, I'm going, I'm still going. But isn't it the Lord's timing? Like I could have been there and everything gets bad, you know?
Yep.
And I'm just thankful that we were able to be ahead of it. And so far, I mean, my family's good. Everybody's fine.
Yep.
But even in my little world, I have one kid in my school went to Washington, D.C. over
Mhm.
spring break, which was a couple weeks ago. We had one lady that went on a cruise, another person went to Hawaii. So in my little world of not very many people, we've had a lot of people traveling. And you multiply that by the thousands of people traveling everywhere, that it's just how we live. And I don't know. I'm pretty technically, I guess you could say we expect it, but it's still, I think, a shock. But
No. Does anybody that's watching now do how is it in your city? And what you don't have to tell us what city you live in, if you don't want to for privacy reasons, but
yeah,
what state do you live in and how is it around you? And I'll tell you that my husband works for Frito-Lay and usually he gets in very early and there's no one but a couple workers. This morning he said the entire the Walmart, the entire everyone was there. So, and our schools are out for at least 2 weeks right now.
yeah. Our school is saying 1 week, but it's probably going to be longer. But
Yeah.
the town I live in, they had school yesterday, and so far there was no talk of shutting down.
Yeah. Oh, really? What?
Because they're like, it doesn't affect the kids, because I don't think they think it's serious.
Yes, and that too, it's it's just waking up every morning and seeing these children and still in their homes and you know how busy they were and how important education and their cello classes and their piano classes and how important that
Yeah,
was and to see
yeah,
that all shut down, you know it's for a reason.
yeah. And all
Yeah.
the teachers that, of course they want to, everybody was just, but I think that maybe obedience is more part of their culture, because in America we're like, I'm not listening to the government. They're not going to tell me what to do, and in some ways that's okay, in some ways that's okay. But in other ways, we need to be careful, because there are real things we need to listen to and obey, and don't
Yeah.
be hard-headed about.
No, you're right.
So, yeah, Meredith, she lives outside of Atlanta, and she had texted me after. She said everything was shut down.
Good.
Um,
Paul, can you see the chat
yeah.
now?
Hmm.
Okay. Paula
Go ahead.
Gross says my son's college is having them move out and take classes online, and that's in Texas.
Yeah. And that's my son is in South Carolina. He's actually
Okay.
staying for a little while to work.
Mhm.
They're probably things they have to do.
Yeah.
I'm not really worried about him staying as much as I am about him traveling.
Yeah.
I'm like, you have to be, traveling, I said, you might even, if you wait a week, you might even get stuck wherever you're at and you can't travel. We don't
That's the
know
main
how
part.
bad this is going to go. So we'll just keep praying. I do want to take a break from that situation, that topic. And I did want to talk about the iPad app, because that is big, big news in the iPad world. How many of you do you use an iPad, Kristi?
I don't, unless I'm having issues with my computer.
Yeah.
So not usually.
So anybody who has one as a backup, you need to be careful, because they did roll out a new app update last weekend. And so you want to make sure you update that. And I wanted to share, because I've been sharing this on my iPad group, but I try to share it every time I come on, because even though I've made videos, people don't watch the video. So I'm hoping I'll catch somebody, and help somebody. But there are two apps for the iPad. There's the HD app with a white corner. And then there's also the regular orange app, which is like your phone app. And the HD app is the one that you teach from. When you press on it, this is the classroom tab, and it has a list of classrooms. And it used to have like a bunch of buttons on the bottom, and you press the middle button and you go into the classroom. Now it just goes straight into the classroom, and here's your list. And if the class, you can go into the class, you press the red button. Okay, this one looks like it's probably too late, but it will be red, and you can go into the class 30 minutes before class. And then this is all your class. I think it's like they list them for a week. So your first one will be your next class. And then when you want to go to the portal, you press the home button in the corner. And to get back to that class page, you press done. So home and done. And people are really not liking this, because you can't really I thought you could do the feedback if you go to the portal and then you go to your class and then you go to your feedback tab, like how it lists your feedback over here. But I tried it just a few minutes ago and it didn't work, because somebody told me it didn't work. So I tried it. And so the other way that you can do feedback from your iPad is to use your other orange app. So if you press on that, it looks like your phone. And then you can go into the class and you can do your feedback that way. Let's see. And then you can also do like your cards on this app also, because people are like, where do I do my e-cards? So you'll do that on the other app. So it really, in my opinion, it's really not, it's supposed to be easier. The teaching app is supposed to be easier, but it's not really easier, because you have, in order to do feedback, you have to go out of one app and into the other app. So a lot of people are complaining, but I don't make the rules. I don't tell them how to do it. They don't ask me my opinion. I just made a group for people that use their iPads, and then people can share. And I try to, be as positive as I can. And it does work. People are using it. There are some differences. There's one guy on the group that he knows how to switch it back to the old app. So I would update it, but then if you are really techie, you can go ahead and do what he tells you to do. But if you're not techie, I would just do the updated one, and then just, do, like I said, use the other app for feedback if you have to. So
I have a question.
Yeah.
I don't use the iPad as much, but I do use my phone. And one thing that I do is prep on my phone.
Yeah.
And I haven't figured out a way for unit assessments to check, because some of the level 5 and level 6, sometimes I have to check the answers. And so I have to physically go on my computer, which is fine. I can do that, but it would be so much easier on the phone app. For the iPad app, are you able to check the unit assessment answers?
The iPad HD app, no.
Okay.
You can't do it during class.
What about what about before?
Yeah.
Class? You can?
Oh, before class, you
like
could
when you're prepping.
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I would have to check on that one.
If
but
not,
I know after class, it's easy to, on the iPad, it's really easy to do the unit assessments, because you just, touch on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. but I don't know about doing it, looking at it ahead of time. I'm thinking no, because I've heard a lot of people complain about that.
That's what I'm hoping for
So,
next. The main thing, because some of
yeah,
the upper classes I have to reteach myself
yeah,
a lot of the things. And sometimes I don't know why
yeah,
the answers aren't always on the left side, because that's super
yeah. I
helpful.
think that would be good if they would just
Yeah,
put the answers in the teacher's notes.
always
Yeah,
for every single
always.
slide, every single
Yeah,
slide. I don't know why
yeah.
that's, yes. It's like,
Yeah,
please.
when I first started, I was like, "What?"
Yeah, I know,
Even
right?
the little kids sometimes,
Yes.
you know.
Because sometimes it would just be a picture and there's specific things, goals that you're supposed to hit. But
Yeah,
if it's
right,
not right
right,
there, and if
right,
you didn't prep all the way, or you just forget, you just have so many classes, then you just do
right.
your own thing. So
Yeah,
that would be
yeah,
nice. Yeah.
yeah. Sometimes I am really kind of, and I think that recently that's come out that the assessments, I think as teachers, we think assessments are really serious and, this is, do or die type of thing. I have to get this exactly right.
Yeah.
But honestly, this is just extra for them. So if you mark something, oh yeah, they they did that after I told them the answer twice.
Yeah.
They still did it. Like
Yeah.
I'm not really strict with the assessment because I have some kids, I wonder if the parents even really look at the answers. They're just looking at us to teach them how to speak English.
Yeah.
And then their real test is in their real school, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that we don't have to be hung up on it. But like if it's spelling or, for the upper levels, you're putting on like the suffixes and stuff, and you need to make sure it's spelled correctly. And
Yes.
there are a few different grammar things that
Yeah.
sometimes, and I told my level 7 student, I said, sometimes when we speak this language every day, we say the same wrong thing over and
Right.
over and over, and
Yeah.
we think it's right.
Yeah.
But with them, they learn the right way to say it, and that's it.
Yeah.
So I tell them, your way is right because that's the way it's supposed to be, but
Yeah.
this is the way we usually say it
There you go.
in our country.
Yeah.
So
So
you can pick.
conversational English. That they come
Yeah,
up, because like the and the, we want them to know, when we naturally say it, it's usually the. But I had a mom correct her daughter before, and this is one of my regulars, and she finally stopped because I said, no, she's right when she's saying the, because that's how we speak it. But
right,
in class they may say the all the time, but I'm like, no, that's natural. That's
right.
just how we naturally. It's the schwa sound, I think.
Yeah,
But I'm like, no, you can
yeah,
correct her if you want to for her test, but that's just how
yeah.
we
Or
say it.
like if you're reading a story and you say the end,
Yeah, exactly.
but usually we'll say the end, but
Yeah,
sometimes little kids will,
both.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. So I just wanted to throw that out there for anyone who might be watching. I had one lady that said she might watch she's in Germany.
Oh,
I don't
cool.
know if she made it to the,
Meredith is asking, she's asking about the math concepts. Are we really teaching those, or is it more about the words and what they mean? I do have an answer to that. One of my regulars, she usually knows the answers, but there was one thing. Mom is usually in the background, and now she doesn't.
mm-hmm,
She just comes on to talk to me. But there was something she was learning, and it was something like division. And she went ahead and got on screen and said, "Tiger hasn't learned this yet," to let me know that I'm going to be teaching her the math skills, not just the words. So I have half that already know and half that don't. That's why when teachers say, "Oh, we're just tutors," no, we're teachers too, because there's a lot of new concepts that we're teaching them as
right.
well. Yes.
Right. And I think that, we are teaching them the words. A lot of times the kids are surpassed the, like, if it's 17 minus 5
Yeah.
equals 12, we're not teaching them that. But I just did this yesterday, like you're saying 17 minus 5 equals 12, but then you're saying, take 5 away from 17 and I have 12 left. Those are all words, but they know the basic concept.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like geometry things, I had one teacher ask, is that an edge or a line? And I'm like, okay, that is, a little more involved than what this little 6-year-old needs to do. But, I'm like, well, actually an edge can be a line, but then I had to go back. I'm a math teacher. I had to go back and look it up. So I'm like, maybe they are. They are kind of two different things. It depends if it's written down on a piece of paper,
Yeah.
but I had like a cube and I was said, this is the edge.
Yeah.
When you draw it on the paper, it's a line.
Yeah.
So, sometimes the concepts are more complicated than just a word.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you have to kind of feel out your student and see. Sometimes you can tell they really don't know this concept at all and you're teaching them. And sometimes you do have to just say, yeah, this is really easy. I'm just teaching you the English words. That's a really good question. Very good question.
Okay.
Hello, Cindy Plummer. Hello, Casey. Jennifer Stouffer. She's the one that's in Germany. She was talking to me about the iPad today. So I just shared a little bit about the iPad. Hopefully she saw that. Laura H. Hello, Laura. Hello, Meredith, Paula, Kelly. And you'll see, probably on your end, you can't. Can you see that some are blue?
All I can see is, yes, I can. Like
Okay.
teacher Kim T.
Yeah, so some people have a blue wrench. So those people are people that like say some weirdo surfs in and says something weird, they can like delete the person or they can delete the comment or whatever. So they're kind of moderators for the live on YouTube.
That's nice.
So that's really cool. Yeah. Yes. All right. So I wanted to say, we kind of already talked about it, but no place like home, just even though we're going through a really hard time, a really good thing to do is to count your blessings, because we're thinking, I didn't get to go to Journey. I don't get to do this and I don't get to do that. My kids, oh, I'm home. Yay. Can I go play with? No, you can't play with the neighbors. There's a lot of things we can't do, but be counting your blessings. So I'm just thankful for, that I have a place to live and I'm in the country right now. Like I don't live in a city. So how about you? Something.
Very, very thankful. And I'm thankful for this job because literally we teach.
Yes.
I know God set that in place too. He already knew,
Right.
because before I was in stores, I was in the commissary, I was in all those stores around everyone. So now I'm like, wow, we literally can be anywhere
Safety.
and
Yeah.
at home. Yes. And definitely it makes you look at your blessings, our children, getting to spend more time with them.
Yeah.
Because some parents are going to have, just like in China, they're going to have this time where they may have normally been at work and then they may have more time with their children and it's a joy. Yes, there's stressful times, but it's a joy.
And if we're thinking about the good parts of it, then it helps us to get through it. But
Exactly.
I did make a video I on my Facebook page. I just wanted to share with people, and they, after I watched it, I thought they probably have no idea what I'm talking about, because they don't know what we have faced. But we have faced kids that have been inside day after day. And I think right now, kind of, they're getting used to it. Like, I don't think they're as bad off as they were like 2 weeks into it. But,
did you notice that?
Yeah.
Right?
I'm like, at the beginning, I thought, oh my goodness, they look emaciated. Are they eating? Are they exercising? Are they getting enough to eat? Are they drinking water?
Yeah.
And I think now they're just kind of used to it. It's like the status quo.
Yeah.
And so we are thankful we have each other, and we do need to pray, because we do know that some people are going to go through some hard times.
Yeah.
So that is something we have to face as well.
And that too,
Go ahead.
I agree with you. We're never promised that our life is going to be perfect. We will go through hard times. So exactly what you're saying, pray for your household, but pray for your neighbors and just all the teachers that may not go back to school for a while they're at home, and just, you know how it is in China, how they're online now, their classes, just how that all comes together and stuff.
Yeah, I just kept thinking about the nurses who, were so overwhelmed because there was so many people and they couldn't see them all. That part really, I just don't want to see that happen. And that's what I try to tell people. It's not about the deaths, really. It's about the people that need help and they can't get help. And we're not used to that. We're used to, we might have to wait a day or something. What? What?
What do they say?
Somebody's at the door. Oh my goodness!
Evelyn, hey, Evelyn, your mic is muted.
Your mic is muted.
My dad. Let me message him.
Hello, Evelyn.
Hello.
Surprise. I invited Evelyn to kind of join us as a surprise. So I just wanted to say, I'm just going to carry on with my agenda and then I'll get to my questions too. Examine your purpose. You know, remember why we're doing this and why we're here and why we're living actually. The most important things are our family and our kids and people.
Say hi to
So
Look, my friend has her.
hello.
What is your daughter's name again?
This is Deborah.
That's Deborah. Can you say hi, Deborah?
Hi, Deborah.
Can you say it louder? She can't hear you.
Hi, Deborah.
That's Deborah.
Oh, she's saying hi to you. Hi.
And what is your other child's name?
Esther.
She is Esther. Say hi, Esther.
Hi, Esther.
Esther, say hi
No.
to your friend.
That's Evelyn. That's her daughters. Cool.
Oh, that's so nice.
Awesome. All right. Excellent. I wanted to share right now while we have a minute about the YouTubers group. And I just wanted to share with everybody who's watching that we have a really cool group of YouTubers and we're all like kind of in a group on Facebook and we're all like supporting each other and sharing ideas and working together to help each other to improve in whatever areas we want to improve in. And so look out for some great videos. There's some really talented people in there making some awesome content. I mean, sky's the limit. Like, I am just so blown away by the talent in those groups. So I have not really interviewed Kristi yet. What were you gonna say, Evelyn?
Oh, I was going to say, yes, I created the group. So I don't want people to think it's just a sub group because it's so much more than that, because we're all VIPKID teachers and we all love our students and we all want to see our channels grow and want to make good content. So, yeah. We're sharing ideas and maybe one person knows something about editing and another person knows something about videoing, and I don't know, maybe somebody has a good idea or a collaboration or maybe someone wants to make more friends, you know. Oh, they have the same gold trophy as us.
We have the trophy. Look.
That's so cool. And I bet you have the same dino as us.
I can't keep dinos.
We all three have dinos. Yay! Oh, your dino is in the other room, huh? Oh, very good.
It's in another room.
Okay. Yeah.
You have it? No.
I love your background, Kristi.
Thank you.
That's really cool.
It's wrapping paper.
Wrapping paper.
And this is from Hobby Lobby. I think it was for in the New Year's section.
Oh, okay.
Very, very, very cheap. And what I do is I take boxes and I put holiday stuff away so that way I could change it every holiday, but use little bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Do you all do the same thing?
Somewhat. I'm pretty famous for completely changing mine around. But Evelyn told me this morning, she said the sun is, you know, they say that this virus doesn't thrive in the sunlight and stuff like that. And she had an article about the sun and how treating patients in the sun, they healed faster. So I got my sun out. I already had the rainbow up, but I stuck the sun out and I have my flowers. Oh, I love that. That's so nice. So I kind of do a little, sometimes I'll change the whole thing, but I don't have a signature background yet. I keep changing it.
When I first logged into Zoom, I had to stop and look at everything because it's all colorful. I love it. So I was like, what all does she have?
I'm cluttered. That's me.
I like it though. It's cluttered like brightness. Oh, look at Evelyn's sun.
Oh yeah, nice.
My sign is a sun. I use it for a prop for sun, but it's also my cup for drinking water. and it hides my straw so I can hold up my sun prop and take a drink and nobody knows.
Yeah, I love it. That's awesome.
So,
I'm gonna look
funny.
for one of those
so yeah,
when
it's,
in a
and
couple months when I can go to the store.
it can't fit on my computer because it has a twist-on lid, so
Yeah.
it's several things in one. So
Yeah, that's really great.
I'm just picturing her holding it up and just hearing like slurping noises
fun.
behind. Yeah.
I will take any
Oh my goodness.
opportunity this is my cup. I always recommend that you get a cup that does not spill.
Yes.
And this I think is the best. It's the oh, you can see my lipstick. That's gross.
I can use it to show that like it's morning in China, but it's night in America because
Oh, that's good.
I haven't done
Yeah.
it, but look,
We're the same.
Dollar Tree.
Yeah, Dollar Tree.
I actually have that one too, but
You
I
do
don't know
too.
where it is at the moment. Because it's after classes, so it's like whoosh.
Right.
But I usually use that for my trials. I had 2 trials today. I had scheduled for 3, but I had 2, and they're just so adorable.
Can you get
I don't know how people can say they don't like. I think the only thing is they don't like it because you could get a no-show, which I got 1 no-show today. But
no.
I just love it at the beginning how they're just not like you don't know what you're gonna do to bring them in, and then it's so strange, and then at the end they're actually like,
Yeah.
I love you. See
What
you
is it?
next
What is it?
time. Very good.
Is that her cross?
Yeah.
It's
That's
a
so cute.
cross from a necklace, and
So cute.
the necklace chain broke, but we need to put it on another string for them. So yeah.
I'm gonna mute myself very quickly and change a diaper,
Yeah.
if that's okay.
Oh wow. Okay.
My life.
Okay. Wow. This is real life, guys.
This is real life. Hey, it's good you
Do
have.
not need a demo video.
You can talk to me while she's on.
Yeah. 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 So how are you guys doing in your city? I know you're
Well, I didn't think that people were freaking out in my city. I saw you and other people post about it, and I was like, oh, my city's fine. But I think when the president, not to get political, but when he announced, that it's gonna affect all of us, everybody in the nation decided to buy toilet paper and bottled water. I don't get the bottled water part. Can you explain to me if I need to buy bottled water? Because
well, I don't really know. Like I think maybe they think the virus would get into the water stream. I have a well, so I'm not worried about it. But like if the electricity went out, we would have to, we do have a dug well we can get water from. I'm not majorly worried about water, but I think some people just think because, if you can't run so you might want to just fill up some jugs of water. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen with the electricity. Like, if people can't pay for it, are they going to shut it off? I don't know.
Oh, but it's weird to me that everyone wants bottled water.
But a lot of times people use bottled water. Like a lot of times people use it on a regular basis. Maybe they usually buy a case every month, and they think it's going to be and they are saying that one of the best, like, what do you call it? It's good for you to drink a lot of water if you can. Did you hear my quote that I said at the beginning of this that my daughter wrote? About how many beds there are 930,000 beds in America, and 2 million people will need them. So that means we're going to have twice the amount of people that are sick that need hospital beds. Yeah. So she's working as a scribe. She's not a nurse. She wants to go to nursing school. So
it has me freaked out because my brother-in-law works at a hospital. So he just gives food to the patients, right?
Oh.
So he brings food to their rooms and stuff. That's fine. But he lives with my mother-in-law, and my mother-in-law comes to visit us all the time. So I'm just praying, a hedge of protection over him and her and us, that we don't get any sort of carrier germs, You know what I mean? But I'm
that's
thankful
why
to
you have to
hear-
quarantine. If he's going to be around it, you have to tell them not to come to your house.
I can't say that to my mother-in-law though.
That's why we live in America.
Evelyn, I see all your pictures. Your mother-in-law loves y'all so much.
I know.
Yes, we love her
know.
so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom has some health issues, and I'm going to be like, I just don't want to be, I don't want to be making it harder for her. And I guess I told my kids, I said, the worst thing is if we have a loved one in line and they say, well, they're going to help someone else.
Yeah, that's another police officer.
That's when you freak out.
Remember to pray for the police officers, because they're going to be the ones also not running away, but running to the dangerous areas. And we don't know if they're going to be with their families or what's going to go on with that, because they have to be available and healthy to help others. So keep those firefighters, all of those first responders, keep them in your prayers. Always. But, yeah. And I'll pray for your brother-in-law.
Doctors, pediatricians, nurses, ambulance workers, ER secretaries, everybody.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. So anyway, so that is that. So anyway, I wanted to ask you, Kristi, a little bit about, you said you were at the tornado site where people needed help, and you were going to share a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm going to mute my mic. So
Okay, it doesn't bother me. Yes, in Nashville, I live in Clarksville, so it's about 20 minutes away from Nashville. And of course, if you've been online or heard the news, you've seen, so cute, you've seen that there were devastating tornadoes and people lost their lives. So I went to go help with Samaritan's Purse, and just all the stories I heard from volunteers that have already been helping, and volunteers that aren't even from, sorry guys, shh, that aren't even from Tennessee. These are volunteers from Alabama, from Texas, all over, coming to help our city. But just the stories of people. Do you want to hear one story?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. There was, right when I sat down to watch the video to get prepared to go help, there's a woman that came and sat next to me, and she said, I want to show you these pictures. And she showed me pictures of a house, 2-level house, the top of it completely blown out. And she said, this is the room where there was an elderly 80-year-old woman, and she was in her bed. She had a caretaker in the other room. And she said the caretaker was also older, because she met this caretaker. And she said that the caretaker knew when it was the worst part and had to run in there to the 80-year-old. And the 80-year-old was holding on to her bed. She had to lay her body on top of her to keep the wind from sucking her out of her room. And
that is so crazy.
Thank God they were both saved. But people like this, they're walking around and everyone's getting help little by little, but they're walking around just looking around probably because it's overwhelming. And it's like, what do you do first? What do you do first?
What do you do? Yeah.
What do you do? But what I've seen, turning point, what I've seen is, as soon as the Samaritan's Purse deploys, hold on, baby, I know he loves you. When they get to the site, they ask the homeowner what they need. That's specifically what everybody goes for. So if it's moving tree limbs, if it's helping them get things out of their house, that happens right away. And everybody works together, so it's much faster. And then at the end, we don't just leave them. They're given a Bible and prayed over. And it's just all sorts of neat things to let them know that Jesus has always been there. He's always there for them and always will be. It's just, I don't see how you can go and help and leave not changed. It's just, yeah.
And these people are also going to be facing the virus as well.
All of this on top. Just all of it on top, one on top of the other. And that's another thing. Some people, yes, stay at home, but there's others that are going and running to the danger because there's people who need to be helped as well. So it's a prayerful thing, whether you go or whether you don't go. But I was led there a couple times to go, and just, God's lined stuff up, and there were reasons to be there, but it's devastation, but then watching God work through it, because he's not the cause of it, but he can definitely use it and work through it. And it's just,
He promises. I always think about that because I hear of tragedies, and, I think of Johnny Erickson Tata, when she broke her neck and everything, it was so devastating, but God promises to give grace. So we have to trust the Lord that when we pray for them, he will give grace. It's going to be hard. We can't imagine it because we're not going through it. But that's what's so awesome. I love the picture of the Bible. Was it you that
Okay, yes. And this was something that I saw online, and then so I had to check if it was real. So I checked, and it was a music producer, I believe. There's a lot of those in Nashville, but he was walking around his friends, and I don't think he's like a Christian music producer or anything like that. He's just a music producer. And he was walking around helping his friend, and he looked in the tree, and when you're walking around, you see metal and stuff still all up in the trees.
Right.
I was with a friend, and I was like, look at that. Well, he saw a Bible, and it was just right there, stuck in there. And
Amen.
yes, and those things don't happen by accident. It's to remind you, he is there through the storm. He's there in the storm. He's there after the storm.
Gives me the chills.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I was talking to a lady that I know up here, and she was in Louisiana when they had some tragedies. And just 2 weeks ago, she told me about something similar. And she said, I tell people that it happened and they don't believe me. And then when that picture showed up, I said, look at this happened again. And I've heard of it happening many times through different types of situations. That would be a good study to go back and look at articles of things that happen like that in hard times.
You know what that reminds me of? In the Bible, after Jesus had died and rose again, remember the ladies that saw Jesus first? And even the disciples didn't believe them, even though they knew that was coming. They were told that literally by Jesus, and they had to see for themselves. And then that one guy had to put his hand in the side of Jesus to know he's there. It's things like that. It happens every day, but it may be hard to believe. But he reveals himself again and again and again.
Yeah. So if you're watching this and you are going through a hard time, message me. I'd like to pray for you. I know Kristi and also Evelyn want to pray. And as a group, I think that's something we need to do. I need to make more of a point to pray for each other, especially coming up, and to fortify ourselves with the scripture, with good music, encourage one another. And when one person's good, I'm good, I've got this, I'm all right, and another person is going to go down, and we need to be there to help them up, and then our turn will be. Go ahead, Evelyn.
I wanted to say I really, really liked your post, and I almost wanted to read it. You were kind of saying it right now about fortifying yourself with Christian music and with reading the Bible, because when I was 15, I realized that I was like getting kind of boy crazy and like really obsessed with the idea of my first kiss and all this stuff. And I realized that it was the music I was listening to. So I changed over to listening to just Christian music, and it changed my focus to God, rather than idolatry,
Good.
And then also after I lost the baby and then had another miscarriage, I got away from reading the Bible, and I started having shorter patience and trying to do things in my own strength and cussing when I got frustrated and stuff like that. And lately I've been getting back in the Word, and I've been noticing a difference, because I thought that the church that we were visiting, I thought that because they have a whole orchestra and a huge choir and stuff, I felt like it was all a show. But then when I got in God's Word and then I went back to that church, it was such a worship service. And I was like, it only felt like a show because my heart wasn't in it. And
wow.
Now that I realize, now my heart's in it and I'm worshiping God, I'm like, wow, I feel like this is what heaven's going to be like, the orchestra and the huge choir and everything. So it's interesting how, anyway, I just wanted to agree with you about listening to Christian music rather than secular music, and getting in the Word, and how that affects you.
And just don't concentrate on the news, because be informed, but if you're obsessed with it, it will bring you to.
Don't allow fear to direct your steps. Allow the Lord to direct your steps. Be wise and aware of your surroundings and your situation that you're in, but don't be afraid. Because
Right.
how many times in the Bible, like 365 times in the Bible, that's for one for every day of the year, it says, do not be afraid. So I think God doesn't want us to be fearful.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And we do at our school, we have 2 kids. We have a small school. We have like 90 students from babies all the way up to, we have 2 seniors in high school. So it's a small school, and we have, our principal is a nurse. So it's pretty, she's pretty good about, cleaning everything and being diligent about germs and stuff. But the teacher, one teacher that teaches all of the 5th and 6th, which is the biggest class, she has 2 kids and they have cystic fibrosis. So she's like, this is how we've lived. Like, we're always watching out for germs, because when you have usually 2 cystic fibrosis kids cannot be together, even if they're related, because they can give each other germs. So but they love each other. They're always together. So as a mom, she has to be careful. They never share the same cup. They don't put their toothbrushes next to each other. They never eat off of each other. So they're together, but they're separate all the time. So she's like, this is how we've always lived. So to them, it's like, okay, but if they got this germ, they're the kind of people that would be at risk, even though they're kids. So, there's a lot to do and think about, but take one day at a time, and just, like I said, think about the good things in your life, think about the blessings. And if something happens, you just face it when it happens. You don't have to make it happen by, obsessing over it.
No.
Because like you said, 80% of people are going to be okay. So that's more people are going to be okay than not. So we are helping them and ourselves by staying away from the crowds. Yes.
Can I share in Philippians 4, it says, be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. I think we need our hearts and minds guarded in this time, and there's a lot of things that we could be anxious about, but it says be anxious for nothing. So that includes coronavirus, that includes tornadoes. So, but what that verse, I love those verses because it says everything in it. It says, be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. So it's like what not to do and what to do, right? Like, don't be anxious, but give it to God. I'm not saying don't be careful. Definitely be careful, be wise, but don't be anxious, because he doesn't want you to be anxious. He wants you to give it to him. And then what's he going to do in return? He's going to guard your hearts and minds. And we need that guarding, right?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much. That's
By
awesome.
the way, Evelyn, God laid that on my heart the exact same time as you. I was about to say it, literally say it, and then you said it. So he wants y'all to know that. He wants y'all to know that.
Every time the word anxious is said, and it seems like everybody talks about anxiety lately, because it's such a thing that's going on. Every time I hear the word anxious, that verse comes to mind.
Yep. And
the thing is, that's why I said on, that quote that you said that you liked, was because we know the scriptures. We're going to meet people that need our help, that need our prayers, that need our encouragement, because, they're the statistics of people that are going to be anxious are going to be a lot higher than the people that say, okay, God's in control, we're going to be okay. So we're going to be there trying to, that's why on my Facebook, I want to put, I'm going to just put songs on there and, encouraging things, because I know people are seeing a lot of people just sit and leave CNN on all day long. I don't know how they could do it, but so I want to be a place for them to get encouragement and hope, and do the right thing. Like, don't be foolish and go out and do everything you've normally done.
And Cindy, I think that God has a purpose that you, me, and Kristi have YouTube channels, and we have viewers, and we have people who are listening, and we have people who are watching. People from China could even possibly access our videos.
This lady from Germany that I just met today. Yeah.
So
Germany. She said her husband, I can't remember now. I think she said somebody at her husband's work tested positive, and so they went to be tested. And so they don't even know the results, but they have to stay home for 2 weeks.
yeah,
So-
so we have this opportunity, even staying in our homes, that we can share videos.
Yeah.
We don't even know. You could make a video today, post it, never think of it again, and somebody finds it in 2 years and it's exactly what they needed to hear. You know, so I think it's for a purpose that God has given us YouTube channels, you know. So
Yeah, it's
just
cool.
throwing that out there.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. And I don't know why I'm doing it. I just, you know, I was going to make a video. At some point I'll make a video. Why am I
God
doing it?
knows why.
I do have some of my reasons of what I'm thinking and what I was thinking when I first started. But yeah, there's probably more reasons that I don't know. But I have not interviewed Kristi yet. So let me ask a couple questions. Can you share a little bit about yourself?
I am obviously a mother of 3 toddlers. I have twins that are about to be 5 years old. And then I have a 3-year-old. This is Bentley. He wants to say hi. Say hi, Bentley.
Hi.
That's Cindy. Can you say hi, Cindy and Evelyn? And hi, Evelyn.
Hi.
They said hi.
Bentley, this is Joshie.
That's Joshua. Can you say hi, Josh?
Hi, hi.
See?
Hello.
But I've been with VIP Kids since October of 2017, and I go to church here in Clarksville, Tennessee. I am 30 years old, almost 31, and I'm a twin as well myself. What more do you want to know, Cindy?
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
I love that you're a twin. Yeah. Yeah, because I started watching, I think maybe on the Christian group, and then I just always watched your videos. So I know a lot about you. I've watched all your stuff. I
And
keep track of you.
That too. I want to say something. That too. When I first started, I went strong with YouTube, and then I pulled out for a long time, and I want to tell you why. God was definitely laying it on my heart all around. I was teaching too many classes. I was exhausted. I was doing well there, well in the VIP Kid community, but not.
Did you guys just go off the internet?
Uh-oh, we can't hear.
No, we're still here.
I can hear now. I can hear you too, Cindy. Just your
frozen.
Picture is frozen.
We're still on, but I think your image is frozen.
Yeah, your image.
Oh, you're back. We can see you now.
Kids are playing games or something, and
Can you hear us now?
Okay, so you said you were going to say why you took a break from YouTube.
Yeah. Okay, so I thought I had it all together because I had all these students and I was being booked, like, all the green was lit up. So I'm like, look, I'm doing that. I'm making money. I'm in with the VIP Kid community. This is awesome. But I was like trying to throw those thoughts away that you're not as on for your kids.
What are you guys doing over there?
It's mom life.
Hashtag relatable.
Zach, what are you doing over there that's wrecking my signal?
Got it out.
That's my husband on gaming. Oh man.
I don't know. Sorry, it froze again.
We can see you and hear you now. This
Okay.
is how it is. Those who are online that may not be a teacher, this is how it is when we're teaching students.
Right, we're used to that. That's
me?
true.
Can you hear me?
I had that problem today, even.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So.
But yes, I was putting away those thoughts that, oh, you've got it, it's all good, and then it was all up in my face basically that you're not as on for your husband and your kids as you are for working, and that he's going to work it out in his way, and he definitely did. So that's why I got back onto YouTube, but not full time, but just when he laid stuff on my heart.
Take a balance, right?
Yep, he works it all out. Yep.
So, how did you find VIP Kid?
Oh, I actually found VIP Kid. My older sister is an ELL teacher in the same city as I am, and she said, I think you might like this. I have a BBA in business marketing, but I love kids. And I actually I took a lot of English classes, but then I steered towards business because I love business. So anyways, my sister said, you might want to try this. And one day I just said, I'm doing this and I'm doing it right now. I was actually sick when I was doing my interview. And the guy said, why didn't you reschedule? And I said, because I just want to do this. Did you hear all that, Cindy?
Nope.
I didn't think so.
I wonder if it was on the YouTube, because I'm not hearing it.
I'll say quick version. My sister is an EL teacher. She introduced me. I have a business degree, but I went with VIPKID because I loved it. So. Yes, baby. Don't be super loud though, okay? Because mommy's talking to our friends, okay?
So I just went back and
Are you in Tennessee, Janie?
So you guys, if it freezes like that, you guys can keep talking because it's on YouTube. It's not freezing on YouTube. It's just freezing me. So awesome. This must be my internet. I don't know. That's weird. Okay. So I just went back and looked at it on my phone, and you guys are being seen by everybody else. It's just me with the problem. So anyway, good job. So the other question is, how do you just handle distracted kids? I'll type it.
Okay, is that for me or for Evelyn?
You're the one being interviewed. I'm here to surprise you.
Awesome. I love that. Okay. Well, I try things. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's Joshy. I usually pull in what's distracting them and use that to teach them. For example, I have one student who she likes to get on computer games while we're having class, and I can see there's glass in behind us. I can see that she's playing games during class. So sometimes I'll just pull that in and have her show me a picture from Google Slides of what we're learning, or have her stand up and we do motions together because she gets antsy just sitting. And that's another tip, by the way. Some students will, now that they're comfortable with me, they'll say, I've been sitting all day, I'm tired. They don't realize that they can stand up. So you can tell them, we'll stand up together and then pull it up and go along with the class. I can hear myself in the, does someone have a volume thing? I can hear myself.
Oh.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you for being patient. I don't know what's going on with my computer. It's like, it says internet connection is unstable. So I think it's because the kids are playing video games.
Okay.
So why don't you just wait 1 second? I'm going to ask them to stop and see if that will help.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm hearing an echo. I didn't know if somebody had the video playing on their phone or something, or maybe, I don't know.
I know, and it's hard. It's not on mine. Now the echo's gone. It's hard to talk because you hear yourself, and then it's hard to process.
Maybe Cindy has it on her phone and we're hearing it echo. I'm not sure.
That's yeah, that might be it. It's throwing me off.
Yeah, on Cindy's end. I'm not
okay.
trying to blame her, but just
No. We'll ask her. Yeah. So who has a story from today that's online right now from teaching?
Yeah.
Anything good happened this morning in your class?
Hello, are you guys there?
Oh, cool. Tennessee.
Do you like my toy cars? This is
Okay. Hold on, baby.
Mrs. Do I have toy cars? Yes, I do.
Okay. So I asked them to turn off their videos, so hopefully that will help.
Do you like my Captain America car?
I just wanted to make sure we got to, oh, what's your favorite prop, Kristi?
Okay. Can I show you two?
Yeah.
Okay, this is my normal favorite prop, which is the Chinese money. So the yuan, and then the two, we always count money in my levels. So I have the yuan and I have the jiao. But seasonal, that's when I like to switch it up. So for Easter, it's definitely surprise eggs. So I'll show you what I have in them. I let them just pick a color each time they get a star. And I have one like zonk where it's something just funny, but I tell them that we are looking for the bunny. So I'm gonna let one of y'all play. Which one do you think the bunny's in?
Gold.
You think gold? Okay, Evelyn, are you sure?
No.
Womp, womp, womp. You got the slime. Okay. So
I don't have good luck.
it's actually the green one, and so it's from the Dollar Tree too, and it lights up. So sometimes I'll shut off my light so they can see it lighting up, and I'll go hop, 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 hop. And then I also explain it to them. I say, do you know why we have eggs? And I explain to them. If they don't know, I say new life. That's my favorite prop.
Joshy said R is for rabbit.
R. You do know R. Oh, you have a rabbit. Look. Rabbit. Rabbit.
He likes your bunny.
Rabbit.
Rabbit.
A rabbit.
I know. You have a rabbit, Joshy. Look. Boing, 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 boing. I like it.
A rabbit.
You have a rabbit. You have a rabbit.
Are you ready for VIPKid classes?
Right? He is. He's ready to learn.
This is really weird because I can see you guys on here, but it's frozen on my computer.
Sorry, Cindy.
Yeah.
Your phone has faster internet than your computer?
Maybe that's what it
why.
is.
Yes.
And I keep telling the kids to turn off the
cell phone data.
Oh, maybe that's it. All right. Well, okay. So we're back in business. I think it is the kids turning on their machines and they don't want to listen and keep it turned off. But it's really strange.
I wanted to say.
So I just wanted to say, I think I might just do a live video on Facebook about my 200 people subscribers.
No, so. That's definitely faster. Yes.
I wanted to say something. In one of my classes, we were talking about technology. And it talked about the grandma. This is the technology that she had, the very old style telephone, just the typewriter, just the really old camera and stuff. And then the granddaughter, now she has the smartphone, the iPad, the computer, and all this stuff. But it had a really interesting extension question. It asked, who was happier? And I said, I don't think technology necessarily makes us happier or not happier. I think it more has to do with, like family and friends and maybe, I think people were struggling financially and struggling to eat back then. And maybe that's why they weren't happy. But it made me realize, technology is not really making us happier, Just throwing that out there, that's something I learned that stood out to me in my class today. So.
Don't you like those questions, the open-ended questions that they add even in the lower levels? It's
yeah, it made me think
right?
Yeah, I don't think it makes us happier. I don't think that's the purpose of the technology is happiness. I don't think.
Convenience, but happiness, what depends on what you put your faith in.
Exactly. Who you put your faith in.
You guys are back again. You guys are back again. Thank you so much, guys, for working with me on this. This has never happened to me before.
We can hear you though still, Cindy.
Oh, you can? You can hear me even though my face is frozen?
Yep.
You don't get to teach your IT for this.
I know, right?
We're your friends. We're not your boss.
Yeah, that's true. But we've been talking over an hour, so I might get penalized for talking too long, but I'm like, where am I going today?
I was gonna say we're at home. We might be doing this more often.
That's what I was thinking.
Right?
I would like to try to do we've done 4. We've done collaborations with 4. I'd like to try and get a bigger group going. That's I was thinking even my kids that are all around the country right now, be neat to do a family meeting on Zoom also. So yeah, well, thank you guys for coming. I hope that
we can't hear Cindy now.
I was thinking maybe sometime I could have a video with you, Kristi, and we could
All right. Thank you guys.
teaching the Bible to our kids.
That would be awesome. Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
that would be cool. Cindy, sorry
Thank you
can't hear.
guys. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you. Bye, Cindy. Bye,
Bye,
Cindy.
thank you.
Bye, guys. I'll talk to y'all on Facebook.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you if you showed up. Bye, Teacher Kelly.
Thank
Bye,
you for watching.
Janie, Meredith. Yes. Bye, everybody. I don't know how to log out.